Let's talk about AVID at AI Middle School. Advancement via Individual Determination, or AVID as it is known, is a system of best teaching practices designed to prepare students for the rigors of college and careers. It began with one dedicated teacher, Mary Swanson, and her 32 students in 1980, and has now grown to the largest college and career readiness program, impacting nearly 2 million students annually across 45 states. With more than 4 decades of research, AVID proves that students from low-income families with limited educational backgrounds in their homes, communities, and schools can succeed at the highest levels when given the support. In the fall term of 2018-2019, 73% of the 2018 AVID high school graduates enrolled in either a 2-year or 4-year college immediately after high school, compared to a national rate of 69%. This is exceptional, considering that AVID students come from low socioeconomic status households at a rate almost 2 times higher than the nation overall. The impetus for the creation of AVID was federal court-ordered integration of the San Diego Unified School District after the courts ruled that 23 schools in the San Diego area were racially isolated. When the mandate took place, Mary Swanson was the English department chair at Claremont High School, which had a highly academic, upper-middle income, mostly Anglo student body. In 1980, a largely ethnically diverse group of 500 students from low-income families were bused to the campus, creating the illusion of disruption for many teachers at this suburban, upper-middle income school. Not wanting to deal with the problems they foresaw with the incoming students, many students and teachers fled to a brand new school, leaving Claremont in upheaval. Teacher expectations were low for these new students. Many assumed that they lacked the necessary parental support, motivation, and study habits to qualify for college, and most assumed that they would need watered-down curriculum to graduate. Swanson thought differently. She believed that with individual determination, hard work, and support, capable, though underachieving students could succeed in rigorous curriculum and in college. From that belief, and despite resistance and doubt from her colleagues, AVID was born. In 1984, 30 of Swanson's original AVID students graduated, with 28 enrolling in 4-year universities and 2 in community colleges. By 1986, AVID had become a school-wide initiative within Claremont High School. That year, the San Diego Unified School District's Testing and Evaluation Department found that the school-wide standardized test scores had improved 46% in language arts and 35% in mathematics, an increase higher than any of the other 16 high schools in the district. AVID is not just another program. At its heart, AVID is a philosophy. Hold students accountable to the highest standards and provide academic and social support, and they will rise to the challenge. Woven throughout AVID's curriculum and philosophy are the culturally relevant teaching, or CRT, practices that help educators build authentic relationships, hold high expectations, empower student voices, engender self-advocacy, respect experiences, and build on assets. Together, these practices help foster a learning environment that is safe and empowers students to grow intellectually. In addition, all of AVID's curriculum incorporates a wide variety of English language learner, or ELL, strategies to purposefully support English language acquisition and promote the utilization of academic language in order to develop literacy and ensure college and career readiness. WICR, an abbreviation standing for Reading, Inquiry, Collaboration, Organization, and Reading, is at the heart of all AVID instruction. Based on what we know through brain research, learning has to be organized in such a way that students can build on existing schemata to create new neural pathways. Pathways are only built if the brain has an opportunity to wrestle with new information, to figure out how the new fits with the old. This wrestling is best accomplished when we ask students to work actively with new information. They have to think, talk, write, read, and ask questions. When students are passive recipients of information, there is very little cognitive wrestling and critical thinking, and therefore very little long-term learning. New pathways are unlikely to be formed. So let's talk about the W of Wicker, writing. Writing is essential to help students process and retain their learning. For this reason, AVID is a proponent of writing to learn, which allows students the opportunity to use writing to make sense of information by visibly organizing their thoughts. Students who write deepen their understanding of content and communicate their thinking competently and confidently in every content area in classroom. Some common instructional strategies that emphasize writing to learn include focused note-taking, quick writes, summarizing, and reflections. On to the I of Wicker, inquiry. Inquiry involves learning to think and thinking to learn. Arguably, the biggest influencer of the inquiry method at AVID is Arthur Costa, Professor of Education Emeritus at California State University, Sacramento. Costa's levels of thinking range from lower order thinking skills, level 1, gathering information, to higher order thinking skills, level 2, processing information, and level 3, applying information. According to Costa, making meaning is not a spectator sport. It is an engagement of the mind that transforms the mind. Knowledge is a constructive process rather than a finding. To better understand the content being presented in their core subject areas, it is essential for students to think critically and to ask questions with higher levels of inquiry. By asking higher levels of questions, students deepen their knowledge and create connections to the materials being presented. With the help of Costa's levels of thinking, AVID is able to develop students who are fluent in the thinking process. Students who know not just what to think, but how to think. Some common instructional strategies that foster inquiry include skilled questioning techniques, Costa's level of thinking, Socratic seminars, investigations, and questions that guide research. C. Collaboration. Collaboration in AVID is about developing positive interdependence while working with others towards a common goal. Collaboration is teamwork with shared responsibility. It fosters the exploration of ideas, information, and opinions through formal and informal discussion. Through collaboration, students create a safe learning environment supported by clear communication, effective listening, and active engagement. Some common instructional strategies that foster collaboration include Socratic seminars, philosophical chairs, group activities, and peer editing groups. O. Organization. Organization encompasses more than the ability to manage a binder. Organization is intentionally taking responsibility for one's own learning by practicing methodical study habits, planning and prioritizing tasks, and goal setting to improve performance. AVID's primary focus is teaching the more implicit organizational skills that help students see how their brains work, how they make sense of and organize information, and how they apply specific strategies. Students who organize are prepared for courses, engage fully in instruction, and self-direct, self-evaluate, self-monitor, and self-advocate to reach academic goals. Some common instructional strategies that emphasize organization include binders and organization tools, calendars, planners, and agendas, graphic organizers, a focused note-taking system, project planning, and SMART goals. And lastly, the R, reading. Reading activates knowledge, engages inquiry, and increases comprehension, enabling students to become content experts. To develop the necessary college and career readiness skills, students need to practice close and critical reading to understand text structures and navigate rigorous texts. While reading, students create visual images, make connections to other texts and themselves, and extend beyond the text to connect to the world. Students who read make predictions, ask questions, and evaluate sources of information for accuracy and bias. Some common instructional strategies that emphasize reading include deep reading strategies, note-taking, graphic organizers, vocabulary building, summarizing, and reciprocal teaching. So what does AVID look like at Ames? Here at Ames, students apply to be in our AVID elective classes. These classes take place during 5th period and meet every day, unlike our other 5th period classes, which meet on an A-B schedule. These students follow a curriculum provided by AVID that builds their skills related to Wicker and exposes them to future opportunities as it relates to high school and college. Students work on goal setting to set themselves up for success. AVID instructional strategies, however, do not only occur in these 5th period elective strategies. Rather, it is an expectation at Ames that all students utilize Wicker strategies in all of their classes. Doing so creates rigorous, student-centered classrooms where students wrestle with content and are actively engaged in making meaning for themselves. As such, Wicker strategies make up an important part of our Ames instructional framework.